right, everybody, welcome. Welcome to another episode of Code Rush. Roy, are you with us?
I am with us.
I love it when you're with us. That's so awesome. Um, we're going to start out. How are you doing, by the way?
I'm doing good, man. I'm feeling a little better today, so
Um,
all ready to go.
yeah, so, sometimes you know how you're kind of aware of yourself and what you're doing, and you're
hmm
like, yeah, that's maybe not the best thing, but you still keep doing it.
Yeah.
Welcome to today's show. We're
Okay.
going back at the portal again today. I think I'm a little bit smarter than yesterday. I'm going to try and just crank up the brilliance a bit, and
Okay.
and we'll see if we can do it. I think we discovered something really important yesterday. That if we take away acceleration and the decay of the velocity, and we simply just use the just flat out velocity of the drone, then
Sure.
everything worked. The math was right. The code was right.
Constant velocity leads to good things.
Yeah. Well, it
Currently,
basically.
or at least, yeah.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Will is saying something in the chat room. I have the chat room blocked by another screen. Let me see what he's saying over here. He
He
says,
is. He's been thinking about our problem, and he says it maybe isn't an issue. In general, we're saying given a position and a constant acceleration, where will we be? And that should be good enough. If you start to add other factors, that makes it game specific, not necessarily a bad thing, and amounts to guessing after a while.
yeah, no, I'm kind of, I hear the argument, Will. That argument's been kind of going in my head. At what point are we going to say, okay, this is good enough, stop? And I think that'll happen on today's show. But I want to try and get a little closer if we can, and I want to incorporate the acceleration because we're making decisions while it's still accelerating. And what I would like to do, we have some predictability over what'll happen with the acceleration. I want to see if we can incorporate that and maybe get a little
hmm
closer. That's what I want to do. Before I get to that, though, let me show you. Well, let's do two things here. Let's first of all get up the source code for this and show you where we are. We're over here at episode 57 begin. That's the tag for it right there.
hmm
I'm going to put this URL in the chat room so you can see what I'm looking at if you want to bring that up. If you want to download the code, that's the code right there. Um, Before we go any further, though, and get into that code, I want to show you this. This is a tweet from Corbin Taylor. It says, "Hey CodeRush, I'm looking for advice on creating a custom template using the first parameter in the method. I'd like to then iterate through and set each element on the record." Gives some example code here to each of the props in the parameter. Example snippet is right here. And whoops, let me take down that and zoom in again so you can see it. There's the snippet right there. So basically, we're talking about a parameter right there,
Yep.
and then we want to iterate through properties on that parameter and
So you'd
set them
assume we
down.
have to do some kind of analysis on the type of the parameter and then enumerate the, was it the properties of,
Yeah,
essentially?
that's what we're doing.
And then do something intelligent with each one of them.
Right. And so I was like, hey, Corbin, I intend to answer the question live on Twitch. So here we go. We're here. Let's answer it live.
Fair enough.
So let's see if I'm running. I'm actually running, so I can't make changes to the code over here. I'm going to shut this down for a second. I'm going to stop this, which means I'm taking this and closing it down. And let's see what else is going on with regards to, it looks like I do not have Mr. Announcer Bot running in any window that I can see. So, okay, so that's we've closed that down. Let's create this class out here somewhere. This looks like it's in C#. So I'm just going to throw this class up here temporarily while we build this, and then I'll delete it at the end here. So we've got a my custom class right here. Let's declare that. I wonder if I can declare it intelligently. I wonder if CodeRushed is going to be smart enough to, if I do a declare class here, if it's going to grab all the properties. Wouldn't that be exciting?
That'd be nice.
Oh, it looks like it put it in its own file for me. Okay, maybe that's good, maybe not. Look at that. It gave me prop 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so at least it did the deep scan. So that's what CodeRush is doing for me there.
Yep.
I'm not sure how we got to item over here. Let's say item is of type my item. And let's do declare class on this as well. Wait, oops, not there, here. Declare class. And then code built for us. Okay, so now we've got a my item and a my custom class right here and here. My item has got the functions in here. What's a misspelled word has been found? Okay, fair enough. Let's fix that. That's CodeRushed saying, hey, that's CodeRushed spell checker saying, hey, you may have an issue there. And so now we've got code that appears to compile. This is not initialized. I think that's the complaint there. So we'll say it's equal to new my item. All right, so here's the code that we essentially have, and what we're looking for is something that does this right here, builds that on it, and we want semicolons at the end there. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. We want to base it on my class is what we want to base it on right here. Let me just, this is distracting.
Sorry, Mark. I think Will's got a good point. I'm looking at one screen, but the stream is unable to see the IDE at the moment.
My
You're looking
bad.
at a different view.
Thanks, Will.
Well done, Will. Good call.
All right, so that was me fixing all of this. Let me do this too. Since I totally blew it on that particular thing. I'm not sure if I had this as well or not. Did I, oh, I know what I had. I thought I had this one up, but I didn't. Okay, so that's kind of where we were right here. This is the tweet from Corbin, and this is the sample code right there. And the piece that you've been missing is me basically writing the sample code right here.
Sorry, Mark. I'm still staring at the screen. I know I'm a little delayed, but they're still seeing the tunnel.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm looking at the tunnel too. Interesting. So let's see. Looks like there's a lag.
Are these the bindings on that streaming device you had that are bound to switching your views and maybe not functional?
I don't think so. I think it's going to update. Let's see. Let's listen to where I am on it. Yeah, I think I'm having slow. There it is. It's just fixed itself in the stream for me.
Just did move over. Okay.
Okay. So apologies for that. Let's. I'll try to be more aware of that as we go forward here, especially when we're without Mr. Announcer Bot to help us out here. So my method async is here, and I think I got to return null on this to get rid of that. To get rid of this squiggly underline right here. Is that going to get it to me, or no? It wants me to actually create a task. Oh wait, what is this? Namespace cannot contain members. Wait, what is my problem here? Directly contain members such as fields or methods. That doesn't make sense to me. Oh, yes, it does. Because
you've got a namespace containing a function with no class wrapping it.
That's what it is. All right, so let's create a class here, my class, and then there we go. Okay. So now we're a little bit better. Okay, my test class. So we've added some code here. So we've got this code here. We've got my item over here, which it created, and my custom class right here, which it created. This is the pieces that it created here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we want to basically be able to generate this code right here based on my class. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to create a template for that. And we want a template that iterates through all the properties of this. The way to do this is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a slight change to the request. Instead of having it find the first parameter, I'm going to have you tell it, Corbin, what parameter you want to work with by just copying it to the clipboard. So you're going to take my class to the clipboard like that, and then you're going to type in your template name, which I think is probably going to be maybe SPA like that for set all properties, set properties all. I'm thinking is what that could be. So we'll do that. We'll create that template now. So let's go into...
That's quite a good way of looking at it as well, because by giving the option to copy from the clipboard and use from the clipboard, that allows for the possibility this method has multiple things coming in, or indeed for the fact that they're not coming in as parameters, but they're the return value from a method called earlier in the same method. And so it gives you greater flexibility about calling this kind of functionality or generating this kind of code around almost any kind of object you might happen to have access to.
Yeah. Now, if you don't already have a folder in here, like I have here from Mark Custom, create one just by clicking this button here. And then once you're there, you can create a new template like this. We'll type in SPA like that. And then I'll just put a comment here, do awesome stuff like this. Like this. And that we're just going to have for right now. That'll work with whatever's on the clipboard. And let's just click OK and type in SPA. Whoops. Try it again. SPA in the space bar. And there you can see what it does. Now we want this to iterate through. There's a template text command. There's a text command that we ship in CodeRushed, which is a text command, something you can integrate into a template or selection embeddings or other text manipulation features of CodeRushed. You can integrate that text command in there, and that text command is for iteration. And we can find out more about that if we go into support and choose online help. And let's see, let's bring up the search here. And I remembered by calling for each, but I think there's also, it's an element iteration. We can also look at templates as well. It's right here, iterating through elements. And this basically tells you what you can do. It's basically, and we'll come over here and we'll add it into the template too. Let's go back to the template and hold on, here it is. Let's type in SPA here to find it. There it is. And now what we're going to do is we're going to right click and we're going to insert a text command. And we're going to grab for each like this. There it is right there. And then we're going to give it some parameters. And the first parameter is optional. It's a visibility. So I could choose only public properties, for example. And I might do something like that. So we could do that. Let's go ahead and say that. For each public property. And then the next word is the keyword in. So we're going to say in. And then the scope is one of these. And the scope I want to use is clip type. It's the, we could also do clip class, the type name from the clipboard, but then you'd have to copy my custom class to the clipboard. And instead, it's easier to just copy my class. So let CodeRushed figure out what type it is. So we're going to say clip type, the identifier type from the clipboard. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to grab that, and we're going to put that there. And then what we want to do next is, so that's parameter 1. And then parameter 2 is the template we want to execute for each one of these. And so we're going to create a secondary template here. And so what I like to do is, we'll create the template first. And when I create this template, it's going to have pound signs on either side of it to avoid, just to make it very obvious that it's a template to be called from another. This is convention.
Makes it very unlikely that you're going to type that manually and expand it individually somewhere without the outer piece giving it the context.
Right. And I'm going to call this set record, I think is what I'm going to call this, set record value like this. I'm going to copy that to the clipboard, click OK over here. We're not seeing it because we got filtering on here. Hold on. Let's go back to Mark's custom template. There's set record value right there. And and over here is SPA. This is where I want to call it. So I'm just going to put that there. And so now for set record.
It's just like calling a subroutine, really.
Yeah, it is. And now what I want to do in this location is I want to come over here and I want to grab this code right here that we've got. And I'm going to paste that in. And so let's just double check. This happening record name on all of these is the same apparently. So I guess that's okay. And then over here is a number that's we're iterating through. This right here, I haven't given this a lot of thought, but let's go back out of here a second. We can also set variables. Whoops, not there. Sorry, I want to go to SPA right here. And actually, I want to just make this simpler. I'm going to create a new folder inside here called Corbin. And whoops, I don't think I wanted it there. Let me delete that. I wanted it inside of my marks. Custom is what I wanted to do. Let's try one more time. New category, Corbin. And there it is. And now I want to drag in set record value into that. And I want to drag SPA into that as well. Okay. And, okay, so, whoops, did it not go in? Let's try again. Okay. And so now we've got SPA and set record value.
Mhm.
So we've got this number thing. We'll fix that in a little bit, I think, is what we'll do instead. And then we're going to come in here and we want to now get that property name. And if we go back over to the help on this, let's see. We can get the item, let's see, where is it right here? Get item name right here. Use this. So we're going to take that and we're going to replace this with get item name, like that. And this, since it's pasted on the clipboard, instead of saying my class, we're just going to paste it. So paste item dot get item name, and we're going to put a semicolon at the end.
So it's kind of like an implicit parameter that's being passed to this template that we're then reaching and going and grabbing hold of and pasting into our particular piece of text for this iteration.
That's right. Yeah, this paste is there. We could pass it in, though, separately if you wanted to actually pass it explicitly. So now let's come and copy this to the clipboard, type in SPA, and see what happens. Okay, not bad. So if we look at this, you can see what's happened here. Now, set data doesn't match up because I copied from the paste bin and not from my renamed piece, so I'll have to fix that.
Sure.
But notice that the props are coming through here in my class. Yep. In fact, if we were to go into my class and come in here, let's create a new property type string, and whoops. Looks like that's another thing I just overrode right there. All right, so let's do, wait a second. Why? I want to look at that. So PS looks like I have another template I was playing with actually.
Did appear to have a custom one there actually, yeah.
I did. Let me check that out. See what's going on with that PS template right there. What am I doing here? And I have no context on this at all. And yeah, this is what I'm playing with. Let me disable that right there for now, so I can go back and get my property type string in here. And we're going to call this full name like this. And okay, and then now we're just adding that just to test it. Now if we come back over here, let's go fix that set data piece, and then we're going to fix the 1, 2, and 3. So those are the 3 things we're going to do here.
We've also got a carriage return not currently present in the iterated template.
Actually, that's a really...
But that's quite useful, that, right? Because you might not want to do a single line for each particular emission. You might very much want these things to become in sequence.
Yep, I totally agree. However, we do want those. So what we're going to do is there's no carriage return here. I'm going to hit enter, and now the carriage return is there. So I've got that. I'm going to fix set data. That's going to fix 2 of those problems, and then the last one will come in is fix that iterating 1 right there. So now if we take this, copy this to the clipboard, right there, it's copied, there's the paste, and now I type in SPA. There you can see I've got set data on all of those, and
Excellent.
You can see, look at that, full name is now there. The last thing I have to do is this, okay? So let's figure that out. I think we can do that. I've not really done this a lot. Maybe in the past, years ago, I've done this. So I think we can do it for that reason. But let me show you what I think we need to do to fix that. So one of the things that we can do is we can actually set variables here in the template expansion. I'm just going to add a couple lines here. I'll delete them later, but for now, just to make this easier to see. And I want to come in here and I want to insert a string provider. And the string provider I want to add is called set. And the set allows me to set a variable here. So I'm going to say this is going to be count to 1, like that.
Yep.
How am I going to increment this, though? I forget. I forget.
Is there an inc function?
That is a great point. And if there's not, we're at a stop. We're not going to be able to go beyond it. Let me just see if there's an increment in here. Increment, inc integer.
Ooh,
what's that?
Sounds promising.
Increments an integer past the parameter string provider in hexadecimal format. The output string is the incremented value. That's what we're talking about. Okay, so we're going to set count to 1 out here. And now I've deleted those carriage returns because we don't want them there. So I'm just setting the variable, doing the for each, and running through it. Inside set record value, let's see if I can get into this. Let's get rid of that for a second. Oh, I can't get to it because it's not an alias. That's why. Normally, if you've got an alias, you can just control click on it, but there we cannot do it. Now, here's what where I want to call that other piece, which is increment integer. Let's do that. Inc integer, and it is, okay. So I think it's going to be like this. Since it's not a variable, right, we're going to have to pass it in. To pass it in, we're going to have to call get on this. And then we're going to have to call set at the end. It's not, you know, super elegant, but I think it's going to work. So we're going to call
it's achievable and gets you the result you're after.
Yeah, that's
then, you know,
fine. Right? And the thing is we didn't ship with this. All right, so now we're going to set count to this, and I think that's going to work just like that. We're going to set count to the result of incrementing integer on getting count, and I think that's going to count it up. Oh, and the other thing we have to do is this, though. This, all our work will not be visible unless we do that.
This is true.
Okay? So let's do that. Copy to the clipboard. Come down here, spa. Oh, inc integer doesn't seem to be working on that. Why is that? I think we're at a, did I mess this up in some way? Set count, inc integer, get count. I want to do one more help on inc integer here. Actually, let's look for it on, let's see if we got it documented out here and see if we can see what's going on with that. Inc integer. See what we got. Okay. There it is right there. There it is. Okay.
Yep, a string is the incremented value. Same format as the input value.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Why is what's wrong with our code? Let's look at our code closely here.
So innermost, we get count that was passed in. That seems pretty legitimate. Then we're passing the result of that to inc integer, which from what we can tell is supposed to act like a function and that it will pass out because it's a string provider. It should pass the value out one stage further, and then we should be able to set that in exactly the same fashion.
Yeah,
syntactically that looks okay.
I'm just doing this to make sure it's all matching up, right? I'm getting the parens to match. There's my set, gets in count, get inc, get count. Count is what we're sending in, right? Yeah, I guess we are because the first time it's there. Set count, comma, result of inc integer. Yeah, I'm going to call this feels like a bug to me at this point. Let's do one other thing. Let's see if inc integer is used anywhere else in here. I'm going to do a deep search with that and see if we find anything. What did we find here? What is it? It's us here. That's us. And it's my repeat search thing. I guess it's just this is the only place it's used. That's why it's just there. Okay. So yeah, this looks right to me. Get count. The only thing I might want to play with, I don't know. I'm not liking it. Is putting this in string in quotes. But that doesn't feel like that should make a difference at all to me. Is kind of what's going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too bad because I feel like we're really, really close there. That looks totally right to me. Set count with the result of inc integer. Let's do this just for fun. Well, we did make a small change. Let's try that. I don't think it's going to have make a difference. But let's see. If it does make a difference, I'm going to still call it a bug and put the devs on it. Yeah, no, it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
So there's something wrong there. We can also let's do this. You know, since today's about tackling tougher problems, I'm going to just fight this a little harder. I'm going to come in and create a new template that kind of plays with this a little bit. I'm going to create a new template called ZZZ, and what I want to do on this is I want to go like this.
You're going to find the smallest version of this that demonstrates the fact that it may not work.
Yeah, that's kind of what I want to do. And I want to do this. Count is get count.
Yep.
It could be 2. There's another aspect to this. It could be that we're reset because we're doing a for each. We might be resetting variables all the way through.
Oh.
There's also another. I wonder if there's something else we give here in the for each that is, if we give a reference to what index we're on. Wouldn't that be awesome if we did?
That'd be nice.
But I don't think we do. There's these two pieces right here, and I don't think there's an iterator variable number. So we don't have that. All right, let's come back over here. I just want to do this. Set count. Count is this. Whoops. And then I want to call increment count. This is going to be inc integer, right? Inc
Yep.
integer. And I'm going to call what happens. I wonder if what happens. All right, let's just do this. We'll call get. We'll do this.
Is set a string provider or a text command?
Set is a string provider.
It is.
It is. And
What would it normally
is,
return?
It
'Cause
returns
that seems a little
empty string. It returns an empty string. And the reason
Okay.
it is so that I can do this in parameters to text commands or to other string providers.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
That makes sense.
I just want to call inc integer, which should return a 2 on this line, if I'm getting this all right. And I think also for fun, I think I want to also, I want to come, hold on. I want to come down here, and I just want to see what happens if I do this. Like that. And let's do that ZZZ template. Why is it working?
So it starts as 1, and that's correct, and then it increments and it's 2.
Yeah, you know what I think is happening? I think I know what's happening. I think we are resetting it between each iterator. We're resetting the variables to, I was going to say what they were before, but that doesn't make sense. We're actually clearing it. This is really interesting. So the code does seem to work. Let's go back and do this though. Let's say, let's complete the code and do this. So we're going to say we want to set count back to this value right there, inc integer. And then we want to come back and say count is now. And this shows the code works. And if this works, then our problem is that we are...
So that first time we're just getting count, which should be 1. The second time we're getting count, which is 1, and then incrementing it, making it 2, and then setting count to it, thus storing 2 in count. And then when we display, we are getting count and 2. So it literally will say count is 1 and count is now 2. And everything except the for each will now be absolved of wrongdoing.
There you go.
There we go.
That's it. Count is 1, count is now 2. Oh, you know what I think I did, though? Look at this, too. These all showed up on one line. This is a change that we added for readability so that you can do this. If you have only a set on one line, it will not count that carriage return. So you can do this. These will be cleared out. Okay. So this does work. The problem is it's not working from inside. It's like being reset at the end. And I think this was due to a request that I made. I think what I want to do,
it's almost like each template gets its own set of local variables.
Yeah, that's kind of, I think this was a request I made at some point to clear out variables when we're iterating, because I didn't want one thing to pollute another. But this is a case where we do kind of want that to occur. The problem is we're changing it from inside the template, and I think I want to change it from outside. Let me try, there's one more thing that I can try on this. Let's create a new template, and we'll call this increment counter, like this. Like that. And inside here, we're going to have that code right there that we know works. And then we're going to, let me just copy that name to the clipboard. And then over here in SPA, I think we have some additional parameters here that we can use to specify. I thought we had additional parameters for each, is what I thought. Let's see if I can get CodeRushed for each text command.
Just while you're looking through that, I will have a quick shout out to the chat room. Thank you very much, Will. You've clearly been following along with us with the highs and lows so far. However, just on the basis of what I see on the stream and how your comments are coming in, I have the feeling that our stream is a minute and maybe two behind our actual location. So it's somewhat laggy at the moment, but it's good to see you that's still there with us.
It looks like I'm still streaming over here. My view of it, yeah, I have to apologize. I'm on my backup internet today because my primary main one dropped. So that's kind of where we are here on this. For each text command, I'm looking for the for each text command. I was looking for Alex Skorkin's documentation on this because Alex Skorkin. Nope. I want the for each text command. Maybe I should do this. How much? See if he's got it out here. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to guess at it because I think it exists. I'm pretty sure it exists. And I'm pretty sure we have the ability to add 2 more templates here. One to be called before each element and another to be called after. And so
yes, that does ring a bell.
I'm throwing it in there. I don't see the documentation for it, which, by the way, Rory, if you could make a note of that, I'd like us to follow up on that. Let's click OK there, and let's see what happens now, if there's any change. And if not, we're going to take this whole incident and take it to the devs here. Yeah, it looks like there's no... Wait, we got to 2. Hold on. It looks like it kind of worked, and then it reset. I think there's a reset here on this, and I think that's the bug that we're dealing with. That feels like it's pretty true to me. Is there any other way we can do this? Hold on. I have one other idea. Yeah, I have one other idea. And my idea is that we take out in SPA. I have a feeling that it might be resetting because it sees what SPA is doing with it here.
Okay.
Oh, wait, not SPA. I'm sorry. The other piece inside of there, set record. It's this bit right here. Let me take this code out of here. I'm wondering if I'm going to get any kind of. Wait, can I do? Wait. Let's try something else. Hold on. This count. I want to try something else. There's my this count. Over here, I want to pass in the variable to this this count. I think I do this as my syntax equals. And instead of doing increment counter, I want to do can I do that? No, because it's just a template name. It's not going to be the parameters. I don't think that's going to work. All right. Well, I think what we're going to do, Rory, is I'm going to back away from this. I got us close. I feel like I'm on the edge, but I'm also thinking, oh, if I'm really not sure this is going to work or not, should I really push it hard? I think we're looking at that reset of the variables, the template variables that are happening inside of there. Let me undo this a second. Let me undo this. I'm going to just at least try this piece right here. see if we can get a workaround here that's working. So we're incrementing it here, and we are not touching it in here. So the question is, if we're incrementing it here, are we still going to get a reset on that or not? That's our question. So let's see, copy that to the clipboard, come down here, spa, and yeah, so we totally cleared the whole thing out is what it looks like to me. Wait, let's double check that because I also made a change to spa in this count here. Yeah. I think that's right. I mean, in the other one, hold on. That's the test I should need to do. All right. Nope. We get to 2, but that's it. Yeah, I don't see a way around that. I don't see a way around that setting and the clearing of that variable. So we are going to, I'll export this and put this up and get this to you, Corbin, what we have so far. This counter piece, we're going to have to solve somehow by looking at that. We're going to have to, I'll have somebody look at that or I'll look at that after the show. But the other piece I was thinking is that we can pass in, let's do this. Let's do this. This count, let's try this, equals count. I just want to see if I can pass in this count to here and then reference it inside here like this. Because that might get us a workaround on it. Might.
Yeah.
Might. I'm not as hopeful as I was before when I saw ink integer. Yeah, that's not working. Okay. All right, Roy, can you roll back, like, I don't know, about 15 minutes we've been working on this, I think, maybe more, 20 minutes. Roll back and just say, get the devs to look at this. With regard to that, we'll take a look at that. Let me go back to the shortcuts, get rid of that part right here. And the question is, how do I get an incrementer is basically what the question is. I want to increment each piece in here. And I'm going to just come in here and say, well, I'll just say count for now. So we'll do that. So we don't have any incrementer. It's just going to say 1 on all of these now. That's the new version of this. And that's the version I'll get to Corbin. So we'll get you closer. And yeah, it's definitely clearing it out. And the bad news is I'm kind of responsible for this, I think. I think I asked for this for another purpose. And that fix was made. But now we need kind of this counter thing where we create it on the outside and we want the inside to change. So we need a way to solve that. So we'll need to have the devs look at that. It may not be as easy as we want. One other thing, though, check this out, though, that we can do. Let's do one other thing here that I realize we can do pretty quickly to make this easier, though, in the meantime, is right here, instead of saying get count, let's say... let's create a field here.
Oh, yes.
Call it 1.
So even if we can't generate our value, we can put you in the right position to put it in for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So let's do that. And then let's also put a, it's a soft caret here. So a hard caret, we'll put it there for sure, but a soft caret, we'll put it there if there's nothing else. There's nothing else. And since we have multiples of these,
so effectively, the first one will become solid and the rest will go, you didn't really want that. You've got one already.
Exactly. And so that's kind of what we want to do. So now I'm going to do that. So check this out now. Now if I come in here and say, let's come in and say spa. Now we get here, we can say the last one. It's the last one. It's the last one. It's the last one, right? Let me change that. I want to see what happens if I am the, what if I change it to just block anchor? And is it going to swap it around and say the first one? That's going to be interesting if we do that. So put caret and block anchor and try it again. And this might use the first one, which is going to be, nope, it's the last one too. And then we go to the first one. Hold on. I'm pretty sure I can get around this. Yeah, here's how we're going to fix it. We're going to go back to soft anchor, soft caret and soft anchor. And we are going to, or actually, no, we don't need them at all. Never mind. I'm going to move these around though. So there's soft anchor, put it here. I'm moving it now, watch this. And I'm putting this here. So there's my soft caret and my soft anchor. And
Okay.
then I'm also going to take item and put it in a link is what I'm going to do. Because I realized, oh, you know what? You might want to modify item. So it's not using that text like that.
Mm-hmm.
And now what happens is when it expands, the last one should be selected, but it's on item. And then I think the rest will make sense and look good. So watch this. So I'll type in spa. And then we'll say my item or whatever I want it to be, like that, and hit enter. And, oh, it's not a field. Almost there. I've got to also make it a field so we then jump to the other fields.
Yeah.
And to do that, I need, hold on, let me cut that. I need to use this one, the field start and field end. There we go. Click OK. And then this should work. Spa, my item, like that, or whatever it is. Like that, enter. And then over here. And oh, it still comes out over here, though. That's kind of like...
It's because it's going left to right, and then it'll loop back. So, yeah.
All right. Working on it. I feel like I'm getting there.
I feel like if there was an outer piece in the spa that was a field that came ahead of the for each, that would position us at the top. The thing is that we don't really have a need for that for any other reason.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do, what I'm looking at is, I really don't like I do want to have this. I do want to have the item there. I do want to have the link there. The other way around this, yeah, isn't that funny how the fields inside the for eaches are a little bit, the order you want is you want the very first one up there. Yeah, I've got a couple options here that I can do this. I think the other one is this. Still going to come up in reverse order. Wait, is it not? It might actually. I think this is going to try this. This I think will go in the right order. I think we have code to reorder those. So let's try this now. So we're going to say spa and item, my item, like that. Whoops. Oh, because I wasn't on it.
It's no longer a field.
Yeah, or just I didn't have the caret on it is what was going on there. So I can change that if I want to. Then I can I hit escape? No, I cannot. Why is that?
Were they soft mark? No, they weren't soft markers. They would normally disappear if you alter the line, but...
I think they were soft. They are soft, yeah. So what's happening is because I'm changing, they're going away. So I need a hard marker in there. So let's go back in. And I think we've got a hard marker. I think I can just type in the word hard here, and that will work. Let's see if that changes it. There they are. Okay. And so we just got to get caret on one of these. And then let's see if I just hit escape. Where do I go? Yeah, now I go to the first one. So escape 1, escape 2, escape 3, escape 4. Like that. So it's not too bad.
Yeah.
I have a better idea. You want to see it?
Go on then.
Here's how we solve it. So you change the spec. Here's the spec change. Are you ready?
Yep.
It looks like this. Int count equals 1. See it?
Right. Yep.
We move this.
I love it.
You liking this?
I'm liking this. This is a true programmer's way of solving the problem.
Count plus plus. Okay?
Yeah.
Got it?
There we
That's
go.
it. Done.
Flawless.
Flawless.
Ship
All right,
it.
here we go. Watch it. Ship it. I think what am I doing? Have I gotten rid of everything? I'm not sure if I have. There. We're done. Ship it. Good. Okay? That's it. All right.
That'll get it done.
There you go. All right. So that's at least for now. Corbin, I'm going to get that to you. Thanks for your question. Totally appreciate that. It was pretty smooth up until we got to this incrementer and we ran into a an issue there.
I was going to say,
So
the thing we would have assumed would have been the hard bit would be the the analysis of the class, the type in question, to get the properties. And actually, that was pretty smooth sailing. That was built in for many other facilities that we've had before, used all over the place. Very, very useful. Turns out we don't use the integer as often as we might expect to.
yeah,
So
or at the
there you
v's.
go.
Well, the increment integers was fine. Remember when I put it all by itself? It's the for
True.
each
The
that's
nesting with the for
yeah.
each.
The for each is clearing those pieces out. All right, let me delete these for a second. I want to. I noticed too. I made some changes to OBS, and I think that I'm not sure if Mr. Announcer Bot is good or not to go. I'm going to do a. I want to kind of kick back in and get started here. I'm going to hit start on this and see what we get.
Okay.
So we are compiling. There's the compile icon right at the tip of my finger right there, back on the screen. So we're watching that compile. And while we watch that compile,
So
go
Will's
ahead.
got a, at the risk of, another rabbit hole, Will's got a question suggesting, can we pass a parameter to a template?
We can.
And
You can.
yeah,
Is the answer. But the thing is, it doesn't work when the template is a string name as a parameter itself to the for each text command. So we can't do it there. We tried to do it, but that didn't work. All right, hold on. I've got to kill some instances of Chrome. Bringing up PowerShell, killing my Chrome instances, and bringing back up
Mr.
my
Announcerbot is here to take care of all your chatting needs.
Well, that's
He's
good to
good.
hear. Is he here for real? I didn't see him show up.
Allegedly, saith the chat room.
Okay.
Well,
I'm not sure where he's coming from. Start with
very simple way to test this.
Dude, check out the chat room.
That's awesome.
That worked.
Mr. Announcer Bot is here. I feel a little safer, Rory. I feel
Yeah.
safer, like we're here, in his care.
Uh-huh.
All right, so let's try a couple things here. Launch. Let's do a drone, and we've got a couple things going on here. Hold on a second. Let me switch over here so we don't have two things going at once. Let's do test sample 4.
That sounds like the right one.
That's where we were.
Yeah.
And basically, let me go down 3, and then I'm going to type in CV, bang CV, and then my right word velocity, which is going to be 10 meters per second, comma 0, and just shoot off like that. And then so so nothing dropped, I think, because we have the decay. So there's two
Yep.
things going on. There's acceleration and there's decay. Acceleration follows the laws of physics. Decay was hacked. Decay was hacked to make it to kind of slow down. And that's part of the problem. I think we can do a calculation that takes acceleration into consideration. If we're going to be accelerating and continuing to go, that's good. But we need to look at the decay code because, and that's, I think, in drone. Here it is right here. We're looking at it right here. And the question is, so we are basically dropping decay here all the time. And we do it, let's see, the code is if we were thrusting up and we were thrusting down and we were thrusting left. Oh, I'm sorry, and not. These are all
So
nots.
if we're not thrusting in
Yeah.
any of the 4 directions.
Yes. If we were not in any of the 4, then decay takes effect.
Yeah.
So this is the deal right here. This is part of the reason why we can't calculate. I bet if I comment that out and change it to a 1 here, that we're gonna
Which eliminates decay altogether.
we'll see different results. Let me refresh. All right, here comes the launch. Test sample 4. And there come the drone. There come the portals. I mean, there comes the drone.
Mm-hmm.
And let's go down 2. But I think we're going to have a problem because we're not going to stop. Why are we stopping? What am I not
That's a
understanding about
Good
this?
question. The decay should not have.
That doesn't make sense to me. That should totally be. Good news. I've got CodeRushed here, so now I can do tab to next reference. I can't
Okay.
emphasize how glad I am to have that feature
It's
back.
yeah.
Yesterday we didn't have it for anybody who's here today that it wasn't here yesterday.
Someone put the wheels back on your car.
Yeah, wheels are back on. I don't even get this. This doesn't make sense to me. Since list update, these are in milliseconds. It says if the refresh didn't work. I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. I'm going to refresh one more time. And Will Bennett says, wow, there must be some serious lag. Are you currently testing the spa template? No.
Not anymore. Sorry. Yeah, that could be a nice timing issue there, as you could discover how much of a lag there is. I suspect we're up at around the 2 or 3 minutes almost at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that, Will. Yeah, you're going to be traveling through time here in a moment. The past you will be listening to the, or I guess, yeah, the past you is going to be listening to the future you is going to be listening to the past you talking to me through chat. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. That's what I'm seeing. Going to do a refresh, he says. So
just like Will, I'm going to do a refresh because yeah, it's kind of strange looking at the stream being quite so far behind. It might be just us. Maybe the lag has fixed itself since.
No, it's
so
me.
By a refresh, we could catch up.
It's my upload speed. I'm on backup internet now because my main internet went down, and that's the problem. As a result, I'm going to end the show right on time. I don't think we're going to go in and attack this problem as much as I thought we were today.
Okay.
So just because there's no way I can switch over to the other internet while I'm live streaming, and I'm not even sure it's back up. So, yeah, I'm going to do a refresh over here, which I did. Let's do another test sample 4 launch. Whoops, that was not the launch command. That was close. There's launch. Drop out a drone.
Got to get them launch codes correct.
Down 4. And I should just keep going forever. There we go. That's what I'm expecting. Okay. Oh, the bounce.
No, that's still not working. 4 was large, and therefore it carried you into the boundary.
You're right.
And then it bounced. But otherwise, it would have been constant.
That's like
in
crazy.
Just the other direction.
That's so crazy to me.
That is weird. That is what we did yesterday to provide exactly that effect, surely.
Change velocity by getting it. I don't get it. Let's do this. Let's try that for now. Let's save and refresh. Test sample 4. There it is. Launch. Drone. Like that. Do down 2. There we go.
That's better.
It's really weird. I'm going to type in CV 0,0 to stop right there. And then I'm going to say, let's go do the, so this is the test I wanted to do. Let's go right. Let's go right for 1. So we're just going to go for 1 second. The first one I think
might not be enough to actually hit the portal as a result. Oh, mind you, no, you change velocity to 1. That'll be fine.
I'm not. No, I'm saying right 1. So I'm going to put the thruster on, and then when the thruster goes off, whatever velocity at will maintain.
Okay.
So I'm going to say R1, and I'm going to say up 1 as well. There's 1 we caught. Is that going to go right over that? Look at that. Yeah, it's the decay the decay seems to be, yeah. I think the decay is our biggest problem with regards to catching this. Well, it's kind of our biggest problem. There's also, when we go switch to Pluto, it's our acceleration is our biggest problem there.
Sure. So just to give you an idea of delay or lag in the stream has just caught up with us starting using Mr. Announcer Bot. That's how far behind the stream is.
Interesting.
It's quite a way, but that's fine. The delay, as you say, though, it's wow. This is kind of fascinating to watch.
That corner one, it doesn't get because of the bounce, I think. But
That's right. I don't think it can ever at that stage.
the middle one, I think it couldn't get because. So look at this. Let's see if we get this. Look at that.
That's pretty good.
It's not bad. We come in and let's do CV. Let's go down. Let's go 0, -3. Actually, let's do this. I keep changing. Let's do -1 and -1 like that. Why didn't that work? CV. Looks like I'm 5 or more minutes behind.
No, that did work. It was -1 and -1, so
I
it
didn't
was
see my
transitioning
move.
in a upper left direction. Well, you were already going minus. Well, every time you bounce, it inverts one of the axes of thrust, not thrust, velocity. So by the time you'd done it, you were already going in the right direction, just a different magnitude. I think.
Sorry, I'm just replying back to Will Bennett. Yeah, slow upload speed on my side. So I'm going to work to get the other internet back today. Let's go. Let me go left here a second. Left. And let's go down. And down and toss. And, I tossed it back to
Wow.
myself.
You threw that quite fast.
There we go. Okay, left. And let's do a stop right here. And now what I want to do is let's go right by 8. So now I've got velocity. Now we're going to test acceleration. And acceleration is the problem that I think we can fix. So we can,
Okay.
we've got to solve to some degree, I think we have to attack the slow. I think we're okay missing because we're slowing down. But if you've got your rotors on, you should be able to catch. So if I type in R8 like this, we should see this is the acceleration problem right here. We're not actually calculating where it's going to actually be at because we're changing accelerating. That was the thing we learned.
Yeah.
So the fix to that is, and I'm just like, I'm just getting, we've got problems on the upload speed. I'm going to reinstate my decay here. And I think what I want to do is I want to run through what the fix is, but not actually make the fix. Yeah.
Just where you were editing just there, Mark. Have we not reinstated update?
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
That's exactly what we needed to do. Thank you for that, for spotting that, Rory. The fix has to do with, so we're getting the future point, but getting the future point, it's in get future point right here. So this is where we know, this is where we kind of find out when we're going to shut off, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And we kind of have to, let me kind of come in here and we're going to do a, whoops, not that. And I just want to paste some of this code in here just so that we want to be looking at right horizontal, right thrust off time, left thrust off time, and some of the others inside of here for this. And we want to basically check, the pseudocode is basically if thrusters are on, figure out if we cross the X, the given
Right.
X, before thrusters go off. If so, then we can incorporate acceleration into the equation. And if we're incorporating acceleration, we come out over to physics over here.
So we've got two cases. One in which we are just at constant velocity, which, may be the case based on various CV commands or what have you. Or indeed just because the thrust has finished and therefore we're at constant velocity. Although I suppose the decay will take some of that away. So, but you said we're okay, missing as a result of slowing down. But if we are in fact calculating, so we've said let's put the thrusters on for 6 seconds, and that the predicted time is in fact 6 seconds in the future, or less than 6 seconds in the future, then we know the thrusters will be on whilst that's happening.
Yeah, in fact, I think we can even look at the code. I think we can even write it here. I think the code's actually kind of simple. We're going to say if this is greater than now, or if the other one is greater than now, then we want to do something like, then we want to say, what I was just looking at, is get drop time. We want to get drop time because drop time is basically will tell you how long it takes to travel that height given the acceleration. So it's going to look like this. It's going to be like physics dot hoststar 222 is following. Thanks for the follow, hoststar 222. By the way, we give away a copy of CodeRushed to one of our followers every show, so stay tuned for that.
So you're effectively in the draw.
Yeah. Let's see here. Physics dot, what is it? Get drop time?
Yep.
That's what it is. And it's going to take a height in meters. And do I have that yet? Nope, not yet. Let's go down a bit because I get it down here. Delta X pixels is this. Meters to crossover is that. So now we're going to say get drop time of this. And then acceleration is this. Maybe I shouldn't call that get drop time. Maybe I should call it get acceleration time, like that. And then now we have a different seconds to crossover than here. So that's kind of what's going on here, right? So we're going to say seconds to crossover.
So that's our default version. And then in case of this particular circumstance, we'll override it.
Yeah. So this is going to be kind of an else here, I think, like that. And then we're going to say seconds to crossover is this. Otherwise, here we're going to say seconds to crossover is that. And is that really all the code we have to write to make this work a little bit better?
I'm absolutely convinced it will work first time.
The other thing is, so now we're saying it's to now, but in my pseudocode, I was saying at the, before the thrusters go off, will we cross the given X before the thrusters go off is the question. So that's the next question. We need to actually come in, I think, and we need to say, I think we need to initialize this as it was with this default, but then come in here because it's really two questions, if I'm recalling, if I'm remembering or understanding this correctly. It's maybe a better way of saying this. These are my, let's say, let's do this. Whoops. Let's say seconds to accelerated crossover, like that. And that's going to be equal to that, like that. And then I want to say...
so if seconds to accelerated crossover is...
this is the deal right here.
Yeah.
It's got to be... The question is, are the thrusters on for more than that time? Okay? Because that's the question. So because if they're not, then we're a blend between the two. And the blend is like, where are we in terms of how we're going to... It's more of a rough estimate because we've got the decay.
If we get the seconds to accelerated crossover outside of the if, and then the if itself compares the off time relative to now plus seconds to accelerate, is that right?
Yeah, maybe another way of thinking this is, okay, there's our drop time, but we could also figure out, we could say, okay, how far do we travel? Yeah, no, I think I got to do the seconds to accelerated crossover is what I've got to do. And then I say, I need to know how long these are on for and which one is on is what I really need to know. Let's see where these are. These are in the get horizontal thrust piece right here. So what's interesting about this, if both of these are on, then what happens is they negate each other. So it's because it's possible to send a command out to yourself to both go right and then left.
Yes.
And so there'll be a negation until one of these runs out.
Which is
So-
quite effective, because when you start by traveling right, and say for 5 seconds, and then partway through that you initialize a thrust left, what you do is you get this air braking effect, but it's not quite as effective until the first thrust stops,
Yeah.
and then you start going back the other way. So it's a completely legitimate thing to do, albeit a bit strange.
Yeah. So we need to find which one of these is going to end first that's greater than it is kind of the idea here. So I think we need more specific tests, like if right thrust is, so let's do this. Let's create a new variable here called seconds of thrust. Oops, of thrust remaining. How are you doing on time, Roy?
I got a little bit more. We can spin a bit.
Okay, excellent. So we'll say it's equal to, we'll say it's actually equal to nothing right now, 0. And then here we're going to say if this, we're going to say this is equal to right thrust time minus now. That's going to be in milliseconds, and so we want to divide by 1,000 to get it to seconds. So that's seconds of
That's
right.
this dot right thrust off time.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Stream is not good. Well, this says, I'm way behind, so I don't know if this is solved yet. The drone stops because of gravity? No.
So this was when we were having difficulty with our decay not apparently working, I think. But, yeah.
Not physics. I'm writing in stops because of decay, not physics. Not physics engine. It's hacked. All right. Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to be, I think I'm going to spend a lot of time trying to figure out, I'm going to spend a lot of focus trying to get the internet back, the original internet back up today, find out what's wrong with that. Second,
Just a double and possibly triple check. Tomorrow's stream is definitely on, despite, if I'm correctly in saying this, National Thanksgiving holiday.
Ooh, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do more stream.
No? Okay.
No, even though I'm
Worth
not
checking
in the
then.
United States, I am bound by, orders from the family. So I'm pretty sure I'm not. Actually, I'm not sure. I'm going to check in with that.
Okay.
But we'll see. I'm going to say right now tentative.
Sure.
I'll contact you, Rory, on that and let you know. All right, so let's see if I can get focused on your seconds of right thrust remaining is that. And then I need something similar for the left. Left thrust off time is there. So we're going to say that's equal to left thrust off time by that. Seconds of left thrust remaining. And then, so it's either going to be 0 or the, I think I want to make this a large number, not a small number, I think is what I want to do. And then I go with the smallest one. I was hoping for, what is it, infinity? Can I do this? Let's see what this is. I'm going to try this. And then now, if there's time remaining, it'll be this. And then that way the code is simply just comes down here to just say fewest seconds of thrust is equal to this. Math.min on these two. On this and on left thrust remaining.
Okay.
Are you with me? All right,
I am.
fewest seconds of thrust is there. Seconds to accelerated crossover is this. If, and so the check is now if the fewest seconds of thrust is greater than or equal to the seconds to accelerated crossover, Then we're going to say seconds to crossover is equal to seconds to accelerated crossover. Then we can create it. And I guess you could argue here too. Else, then you could say, well, it's a blend between the two. So seconds to crossover is equal to, yeah, hard to tell though, to tell exactly what this is. Else it's a blend. I'm going to just put a to-do in here. Blend the two predictions.
Mm-hmm. So we start off by saying seconds to crossover is meters to crossover over velocity x, which under constant velocity would be good. Okay. Then we try to determine if there is any remaining thrust still going on. And if there is, we calculate the quantity of, well, we try to determine which of them is going to finish earliest.
Yes.
And then
because
we
we're
calculate
basing
the number of those seconds.
We're basing a calculation on this horizontal thrust right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're not doing the same with the vertical, because we've really noticed the biggest problem with the horizontal. The horizontal seems to have the biggest impact on it, and the vertical does not. But arguably, we should be doing it with the vertical as well. So let's try it. Let's see what happens. And let's see if we have better numbers with this. It could be that on Pluto, nothing drops. That could be what this change does, because we just don't have time to get it to us because of that. So there's our refresh test sample 4. And launch our drone. And let's drop down 2.5 seconds. And there we are stopping. And let's say, let's go right by 8 seconds. See what happens.
That was a very late drop for all of those.
Yeah. They were not, I was not happy with that. I was not happy with that. I was hoping that that would be like seconds to get the drop time, horizontal thrust, meters to crossover.
Have we inverted something? You've got the fewest seconds to thrust. So the thrust is going to last longer than the seconds. No, that is correct. That's the right way around.
Yeah, we could get rid of all of this code and just simply do this. We could just do this for now, and comment all this out for a second, just to see if we're seeing something different.
Did you just take out an extra or not sufficient braces there?
Yep, that was it right there. So meters to crossover. Yeah, okay. So so that might be. Let's see what happens. So here we go, moving right. Yeah, the numbers are off. So I think the answer is that the code was working no matter what. I'm really not noticing any change here. 3, 2, 1. It's like, yeah, it's off by quite a bit. Why is that off? Seconds to accelerated crossovers here. Oh, wait. Seconds to, we may not be entirely done. No. Meters to pixels, velocity. Hold on. Oh, wait. I think I know what may be happening here. Where's the exit crossover? Velocity X, meters to crossover. Whoops. Seconds to crossover is there. Wyatt crossover. Yeah. So, oh wait. This is get drop time. Hold on a second. This is get drop time though, without considering an initial velocity.
Oh,
That's considering from a stop. That's why
yeah.
we're not working on this. We need an equation to get the drop time from a. We need to get the drop time. Get drop time physics equation. That. Let's see what we can find out here. Equation: speed of a falling. No. Time it. It takes for an object to fall. Okay, let's look at this. No, I just want to I just want a formula.